Hi, are you someone who just went to a weight loss program and now worried how you're going to sustain this weight loss that you attained through the program? Are you worried that all of this weight that you lost through the program after a lot of hard work, investment of time and effort, what if this weight comes back on you? Are you worried? If you are worried, then this episode is for you. In this episode, I'm going to share the top three tips by which you can sustain your weight loss even when the program is over. I am Ruma. I'm a certified fitness trainer. I'm a certified fitness nutritionist, and I am a women's fitness specialist from International Sports and Sciences Academy USA and National Academy of Sports Medicines USA. And I thank you for joining me in this episode. So stay put, and I'm going to share the three top tips with you to sustain your weight loss. So, getting started, the number one tip is my favorite one is exercise regularly. Well, there is no two ways about exercising. Let's get this straight. Many people ask me, Ruma, as long as I go to the gym, I lose weight consistently. But the moment I stop exercising, all the weight comes back on me. Well, exercising is long term and there is no two ways about it. Exercising is not just for weight loss, but exercising is also to help boost our mood, for all the good hormones to be released in our body. Exercising is for long term health and happiness. It's not a short term thing for weight loss, it is a long term activity, long term investment for you towards your health and happiness. Now, I'll give an analogy. Say the days we brush our teeth, our mouth feels fresh, right? And the days we don't brush our teeth, our mouth doesn't feel fresh. So the day we exercise, we have done something good. And the day we do not exercise, of course, the results will not be as good. So we have to, as we have to continue brushing our teeth every day, we have to exercise every day. The another thing that I've seen with people who exercise is that exercising keeps hormones under balance. Your insulin level will be in balance. If your insulin level is in balance, your craving hormones will be in balance. If you exercise regularly, your cortisol level, which is a stress hormone, that will be in balance. And many times stress leads you to eat the wrong kind of food. And if you exercise regularly and you balance your cortisol levels, then you will see that you will never get into the vicious cycle of eating the wrong thing. More often than not, people who exercise regularly are so much in control of their hormones are so well balanced that they are very much in control of the food that they put in their mouth. They're very, very mindful about what they eat. And it is not something that they put in a conscious effort. And I can speak from my own experience. It's not a conscious effort that they have to do in order to put something in their mouth. The body resists any wrong food that is going inside of it. So exercising takes you to a level where you do not have to be conscious anymore. Your subconscious mind drives you towards better and healthy eating choices. Now, the next question then is, how much to exercise? The WHO guidelines is between 150 to 300 minutes per week. And how many hours? Do you know how many hours? Now, does this seem doable or does this seem undoable? 150 to 300 minutes per hour roughly translates to 25 minutes to 50 minutes per day, 6 days a week. So you get 1 day of break. Even if you take 1 day of break, then you only need to exercise between 20 and 50 minutes per day, 6 days a week. Now, now people often tell me, I don't have time to exercise. My question is, how many hours in a week do we have? You know how many hours in a week do we have? Do the simple calculation. Do 24 into 7. We get 168 hours in a week. So please do not tell me that you do not have 300 minutes in a day, 300 minutes in a week out of 168 hours to invest in your long term health and happiness. All right. So, the number one tip, without any excuses, no two ways about it, is exercise. Exercise 30 to 50 minutes of moderate to vigorous intensity exercise 6 days a week. So that is your tip number one, and I would say the foundational truth towards health and happiness. Okay. The number two is before I get into number two, one of the concepts that I would like to share with you, and you will understand why I'm saying this, is the concept of metabolic set point. Our body, once we, our body has a inner thermostat, which is called the metabolic set point, and everybody of us has that. The metabolic set point kind of tells us what is the right weight for our body. You know, what is our metabolic rate? That is kind of driven by the weight of our body. Now, once we are at a weight for quite a significant number of time, at a certain weight for a significant number of time, our body has already attained that metabolic set point, right? When you attain that metabolic set point, it becomes very difficult to either lose weight or gain weight. That is the concept of metabolic set point. If you lose, you may lose 1 kg, you may gain 1 kg, but finally your body's tendency will be to bring you to your metabolic set point. So, so that is where the number two tip comes from. Yeah, attain your weight loss slowly and steadily. Do not try to attain a weight loss very fast. You know, a 2 to 3 kgs per month is a very good rate to attain weight loss. If you see any flashy internet ads or magazines that say lose 10 kgs in 10 days, you know that is going to come. The faster it went, it will come back to you even faster than that. Yeah. So attain a weight loss which is between 2 to 3 kgs per month, not more or not less than that. Yeah. Now, once you have attained a weight loss steadily, what happens is your body's metabolic set point is also getting adjusted steadily, slowly and steadily. So, when you attain your target weight, your body has already gotten adjusted to the new metabolic set point. All right. Now, it will, so when you attain that metabolic set point, it becomes easier for you to remain in that zone. And once you attain that zone, the only thing that you will now have to understand is tip number two, right? All right. So the tip number two is portion control. You know, how much is right for you according to the new metabolic set point. And the best way to figure it out without getting into very detailed, complicated calorie counting, you know, entering everything that you put in your mouth in a calorie counting device, you don't have to do that. There is a very simple methodology with which you can do portion control. And that is called the hand portion control. The way we use our hand is well, why hand portion control? One is because it is effective. Most of the time our hand gives us a good measure of, is in proportion to the size of our body. If the size of the hand is big, it indicates that, you know, our size is big and we need to eat more. And if the hand size is small, it will be in proportionate, it will be in proportion to our body, and our body is smaller. So if the hand size is small, we will need to eat less. If the hand size is big, we will need to eat more. Simple. Yes. And the hand is portable. It will go anywhere with you. Wherever you go, it will follow you. It will be with you. So it is portable and it is always available. So this is the best mechanism. Hand is the best mechanism for you to start doing portion control once you have attained your target weight. And how do you do that? Let me show this to you. This is a very interesting concept. I love sharing this with people. So this is your hand. Use the palm to measure the protein on your plate. Right? So if you stack up, if you're a non-vegetarian, start stacking up your chicken on your palm and you see how much chicken can be used to cover up your palm. Chicken pieces that can cover up your palm. If you're a vegetarian, use your paneer or use your tofu to cover the palm and see how much covers in that palm and use it as the protein content. So palm size of protein, fist size of vegetables. So any of these sabjis that you make, the vegetable curry, the vegetable sabji, it should fit into your fist, fist size. Yeah. Cup size of grains or cup size of grains. So your chapati, your rava, millets, ragi, jawar, bajra, oats, anything. it should come into a cup size of your hand and thumb size of fats, which is the oil, right? So per meal, every meal, your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, use your hand as the portion control mechanism to identify, to understand how much of a food should be part of your plate. All right. So use this portion control. If you're a woman, then one. If you're a woman, this holds good for you. If you're a man, just double the size. So use both your hands as portion control mechanism. So for each of these meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, use the mechanism or use your hand as portion control. So, summarizing till now, we have covered two tips. The third tip is still remaining. The first tip is exercise 150 to 300 minutes per week, moderate to intense exercises. And tip number two is once you've reached the metabolic set point, you start using your hand as portion control. All right. Tip number three, and the most interesting one, because this is the question that I get. Ruma, this is the question that I get. Ruma, will I have to give up pizzas for my life? Ruma, will I never be able to use sugar in my tea? Ruma, will I ever be able to have coffee again? These are the questions I get when people go through our weight loss programs. And my answer is yes. Till the time you are on a weight loss journey, there will be certain items which are restricted for you. But once you've attained your target weight loss, then you get into maintenance. You only have to maintain that weight. And maintenance is much easier, much easier because you've already attained that metabolic set point. Yes. And this is the time when you have to start identifying. So, tip number three is starting now. Yes, you can have pizzas, you can have sugar in your tea, you can have the occasional laddus, but again, in moderation. Now, moderation is a very loaded word. Moderation, in my opinion, doesn't work because moderation is very subjective. What is moderation for you may not be moderation for me. You may be able to survive 10 laddus in one sitting without even an inch in your weight moving, which happens with my husband. He can gulp down 10 laddus in front of me, nothing happens to him. I gulp down one laddu, and next day my paunch will be visible to everybody in this world, right? So moderation is a very subjective term, and you will have to identify the right moderation amount for you, right? And how do we do that? None of the literatures, I can guarantee you, none of the literatures will teach you this technique which I am teaching you now. So pay very close attention. If you have a notepad or a pen, sit with that so you can take notes. Yes. So the first thing that you have to understand is what is your tolerance for any of these junk items, so-called junk items, the pizzas, the burgers, or anything that you crave to eat and you were not allowed to eat during your weight loss journey. So say, for example, you were not allowed to eat sugar, right? Now you will have to identify what is your tolerance for sugar while understanding that sugar is the number one unhealthy product to put in your mouth. Once you have that understanding, how now you can decide if you want to have sugar, and if you want to, then how much is okay for you. Yes. So the first thing that you do is week on week, make a 6 week chart for yourself. First week, introduce sugar twice in a week, once in the morning, once in the evening, and see how your body responds the next day. Did you increase in your weight? Did your waistline increase? See how your body responds to that. And if you see that your body hasn't responded to that, it indicates that you have a higher threshold for sugar, and you may probably be able to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar in a week without seeing too much of a weight gain. The second would be to add grains. If you were restricting yourself on grains, many people do that on a low carbohydrate diet to lose weight, then add a significant portion of grains in your lunch, in your meals 2 to 3 times in a week. Now, again, some of the grains are very healthy. For example, all the unpolished grains, unprocessed, unpolished grains are healthy. So you shouldn't have to worry much about it. But if you have grains too much in quantity, it can again lead to weight gain. right? Too much of rice, too much of chapati, too much of rava, it can lead to weight gain depending upon your lifestyle. So you will have to see how you respond to grains. Like that, make a list of the things that were barred for you during your weight loss journey. Make a 6-week calendar and introduce each of these items which you were not allowed to have. Introduce each of them one by one every week, and make it in a way that the next week builds upon the activities of the prior week. So if the first week was sugar, next week will and the next week you had set for grains, then the second week will be sugar plus grains. If you had set up third week for coffee, then it should be sugar plus grain plus coffee in the third week. Similarly, build yourself up to see what is your threshold. Now, during this period, during this activity, and I'm really hoping that you are taking notes, because this is not a very I wouldn't say it's a very complicated tip that I'm explaining to you. If you get it right, it's really simple and very, very powerful. You will never get back the weight ever again. Yes. Now, I hope you're not taking the notes. During this time, sometimes you will see that your weight has increased, right? So you start eating sugar more than your body can accept. Your weight increases. And what do you do at that time? Nothing, very simple. Keep Always remember to keep the last diet plan that you were following. I'm sure if you had gone through a weight loss program, you've had many changes in your diet plan. So always keep the last diet plan that took you to the target weight. Always keep that handy, because anytime you increase 500 grams of weight, and 500 should be your threshold, that you should never cross more than 500 grams of your target weight. The moment you cross 500 grams, get back to the last diet plan that your nutritionist or your fitness coach would have shared with you. All right, go back to that, bring your weight back to your target weight, and start the process all over again. All right, so 3 tips. First tip: do not miss to exercise. That is um, the single most, what do I say, best investment of your life that you can make, not just towards your weight, but towards your long term health and happiness. Number two is portion control. Use your hand to do your portion control once you reach your target weight. And number three is identify how your body responds to different junk food. Understand your threshold, and the way to understand the threshold is by doing a 6-week activity wherein each week you bring in one junk item or one barred item from the list to identify what your threshold is. I hope you found this session valuable. I hope if you it has answered the queries and the worries that you had about gaining all the weight back after a successful weight loss program. I hope this was valuable, and if it was, then do not forget to like this video. Put a comment in it saying that you really found this information valuable, and of course, do not fail to subscribe to our channel, because I'm going to bring you more and more valuable information on this channel. All right, so take care, and until next time, stay fit, stay healthy, stay happy.